All righty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Weekend Wrap Up Show. It is May 2nd. Josh, the pages are turning fast, man. It's hard to believe that it's already May.
It is hard to believe it's already May. It's beautiful outside. It's a beautiful day today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we have hit the month of May. We are rolling along. We were just talking before we came off our little intro music there that there's a lot about to happen as far as events going on around town. So we'll get into that throughout the day. But
I described it as a wad of stuff.
There's a wad of stuff. Yeah, I will lead off with one that's happening today, just so if people aren't aware. I did post about it yesterday. There had been other promotion of it. There is what should be hopefully a fairly large event on the square this evening, starting at 5 o'clock with the opening act. But this is a concert as part of a 2-day event supporting our veterans organizations. The lead performing artist is somebody that was second place in, did I put that down here? Yeah, I did. Hunter Girl. I don't know Hunter Girl, but
I've heard of her.
She was, I believe, second on American Idol a couple of years ago. And her and a bunch of other big name songwriters out of Nashville and a few other things. Starting at 5 o'clock today on the square, supports our veterans. It's going to be a great event. And other than that, man, the weather's great. I saw something on Instagram before I came in. I think there is, as we speak, a pop-up show going on by Craig Campbell over at Grindstone right now at 10 o'clock. So yeah, a lot.
Are those unannounced? They just pop up?
I had not seen an announcement, and then I got on Instagram and it said he was doing something this morning at 10 o'clock. I figured that's a pop-up.
That's a proper name. I think. And there's one thing I know everybody's wondering what's going on. You don't have your coffee this morning. You got a bottle of water. Are you quitting the coffee?
No, I was running late, so I didn't have to stop myself a cup. I'm sorry. Well, I've been lax in my duties on getting coffee.
Well, you're forgiven today. All right,
so I'll get some for next week. So
how about we take a little break, come back, and you dive into what all has happened this past week? Had a busy week.
Busy week. I had a busy week all day Tuesday, so we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we want to thank our sponsors. Dennis Young Insurance here in Shelbyville, and the Dream Team, the Arnolds,
and Coldwell Banker,
and
Cutting Edge
Optical out on North Main Street. Let's hear from them, and we'll be right back.
For clear vision and trusted care, choose Cutting Edge Optical. We offer comprehensive eye exams powered by 20/20 exams, expert contact lens fittings, and a wide selection of quality frames to match your style and budget. Need glasses fast? We even offer same-day eyeglasses to keep you seeing clearly without the wait. Our experienced team is committed to personalized service and helping you see your best every day. Visit Cutting Edge Optical at 1114 North Main Street in Shelbyville or call 931-488-5778 to schedule your appointment today.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
When you're ready to buy or sell in Middle Tennessee, you want someone who knows this community inside and out. Meet Diane and Madison Arnold, Shelbyville's trusted real estate team with decades of local experience and award-winning results. Whether it's finding your dream home, pricing your property to sell, or navigating every step of the transaction with confidence, they're with you from start to finish. As part of Coldwell Banker Southern Realty, they pair hometown expertise with powerful market tools to help you move with confidence. Call Diane and Madison today and experience the personal service and local knowledge that makes all the difference.
All righty, welcome back into the weekend wrap up. The news that matters. Josh, tell us the news that matters. What's happened this past week?
Well, it was a slow week, David.
No, it wasn't.
I am so lying. Actually, it was a busy week, and honestly, it all happened on Tuesday for me. As far as local government, it did. I spent the day Tuesday. I'll just give the rundown from top to bottom. I think I got it we had our first county budget hearing. I got there about 9:45. And I think I walked out of Planning Commission about 8:45 that night, maybe 8:30. So it was a good solid day. I'm going to lead in non-chronological order because I think this is the bigger one of those, or at least it was the one I participated in, and I think has had the most debate online. So we're going to start with the finance meeting, which happened at 4:15 on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. They had a couple small items on the agenda early. This meeting went an hour and 45 minutes by the YouTube count. They started and did their normal reports. There was a request that's been sitting in finance. This was the third month it was mentioned from the city asking for the county to go 50-50 on they're having a big July 4th, 250th celebration of the United States of America at H.V. Griffin Park. And they were asking the county to split it half and half, which would have been $28,000 to each to help, just kind of celebrate 250th. So throw a big shindig,
Right.
Big shindig. So after 3 months there, they decided that they would go half and half on the fireworks, but not the rest of the shindig. So the request had been for $28,000, and they have recommended $15,000 to the county commission.
Yeah. One of the big arguments I heard back in a previous meeting was the crowd was going to be too big.
That was part of the discussion last month. Yes, they didn't want to get too big.
We won't. Nobody participate.
Yeah. So now technically, this is a recommendation, and the county commission is going to have the opportunity in a couple of weeks to actually go in 50-50. They could vote it however they want, but the recommendation.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, is only 15,000 of the 28. So we'll see how that plays out in a couple of weeks.
That's untypical of government. Backing off spending
less money, huh?
But yeah,
that was the idea. So if they spend less, I will say the city will
kick it in.
Yeah, we'll kick in the difference. We'll kind of have to. It's kind of late to look for sponsors.
Well, you still might, so. If people know that there's a need, you might have some. You never know.
Might have some last minute sponsors. So. There was another request. This is for the annual Juneteenth celebration, and they were a little confused, I think, on the request, and they couldn't come to a decision. So they kicked that can to next month. So
well, it's June,
it's coming up. Next month they're going to have to make a decision.
It's May. So. It's going to be June. All right. So the 10th is what? It's about the 15th, 16th, 19th.
June 19th.
So the clock is ticking.
So they can't kick.
How much do they ask for? $1 million?
It was like 1,000 or 1,500, I think.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So
we're going to talk about that a little longer.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're going to talk about that next month. And then the big one, this is the one I was there for. And this is what made the meeting go an hour 45 instead of 45, because we talked about this over an hour. This was the final official presentation of the senior property tax freeze to the finance committee. This has been much discussed and debated on the Facebooks. You'll find it in the newspaper. You'll find people talking about it on the phone. I've talked to people about it out and about at the store, wherever you want to go. It's been discussed. Couple points on what actually went on in the meeting. I did actually go the morning after this meeting and met with our county mayor for we had a good sit down discussion. I met with him. My intention was, and that's what I told him, I was there to thank him that they allowed, this was a county finance committee meeting, and they basically gave me free latitude, even though I'm on the county commission, to
talk about it,
and have a good discussion. This was good, open debate. Everybody was cordial. I got a couple questions from people. One even this morning, somebody saying, why did you and Mark get into it? Mark Clayton. I said, no, we were fine. We talked after and shook hands. That was not, I know sometimes people interpret. They interpret body language. What we said is a different way, but we were all good. So we were laughing, cutting up afterwards. We went to another meeting together after that. So we were all good. The big debate was kind of like we mentioned last week. Everybody says, I'm in favor of helping seniors. I'm in favor of this program. I'm in favor of this, but, and then there's a but.
The buts.
When the buts come out, then they start saying, but this, but that, but this, all these different reasons but it's not a good idea.
Taxpayers could say but too.
Yeah.
Like this older lady out in the country that has lost her husband, still has a big piece of property. Don't want to sell it, wants to keep it in the family. She's trying to make it. She would pay her property taxes, but it's so high now, I can't afford to. There's another but.
There's another but. So, so let's talk about some of the buts. I'm going to start with one set of buts in particular. There were several online posts, and I'm going to refer to one. I'm not going to call anybody up a name or anything, but several of these were by some prominent members of local society, and one in particular that I responded to in a couple different places said, hey, these people that are for the tax freeze aren't laying out all the real facts. Let me give you the real facts.
Uh-huh.
And then they proceeded to list off 3 statistics that were
Not even
completely
close.
inaccurate.
I saw some
completely inaccurate. They talked about the income level requirement for the program. The income level cutoff on what we're proposing is phase 1 would be $43,780 a year.
Yep.
A senior would have to make less than
and you can
$43,780.
fact check these numbers. Anybody that sees this that wants to debate it, go fact check it.
Yeah, that
Pretty simple.
Yeah, that number is actually hard to fact check. We got that from the comptroller's office. They've got
Yeah.
last year's number on their website, which is pretty close.
Right.
It's 42 something. The one,
But it ain't 30.
It ain't 30.
It ain't 30.
It ain't 30. It ain't 25. It's not a lot of the other numbers that have been thrown out. Another one of the stats that was given out that wasn't correct was, hey, if you were a senior and you own more than 5 acres, you're ineligible for this program.
Yeah.
Not accurate.
Fact check it.
Yeah, yeah, you can check that on the comptroller's website. If you do happen to own more than 5 acres, it does only freeze. It freezes the structure you live in, your
Right.
house, and the surrounding 5 acres. You don't have to subdivide the property. You don't have to do anything
Right.
special. The assessor's office takes care of that. But that's what's frozen. 90%, and we got this stat, and this is in the presentation from the comptroller's office. 90% of these applications that are coming in
Yeah.
across the state are people that are living on less than 5
Of
acres.
course.
Most people that are on a
Yes.
fixed income and are, 70,
Residents are being protected.
yeah,
in this whole
are
thing.
are living less than 5 acres. But the other 10%, they still are eligible if they meet the other
Right.
requirements. It just freezes the
Right.
house
It
at
helps
5
some.
acres.
Okay. So fact check that.
Yeah. And then the
Okay.
last one, and this is one I heard from many people, many different places, they got confused on the number of seniors.
Yeah.
I've seen all over the interwebs. This is only helping 200 people.
Yeah.
This is not only helping 200 people.
Yeah.
The numbers with phase 1, again, we're just talking about one phase of this right now, would be and this is an estimate, but it's going to be a very close estimate. It's 720.
Okay.
So this would
720.
help 720 seniors the first year it would go into effect, which would be next tax year is when
2027.
would be when, if there was a tax increase next year, which a lot of people are already talking
They're
about.
anticipating it. Yeah.
That's when they would be protected. So
Yeah.
720 is that number. Where the 200 number comes in at is we have what's called tax relief right now. 500 seniors are currently on that program. So this is an additional 200, but all 500 of them are protected as well. And that's very important because we're currently sitting in a reappraisal year. We're a year too late to fix this problem. But because of reappraisal, I've already heard from people in the county offices that are dealing with this. We've got, in those 500 low-income seniors already on the tax relief program, we've got low-income seniors that are about to get hit with tax increases because their reappraisal came in above the average.
Right.
And the tax relief program, which is all we have in place right now, doesn't account for that. They don't get more
Right.
relief to cover that tax increase. So if their taxes went up, I'll just pick a random number, for instance, say if their taxes are about to go up $200, tax relief pays them next year is going to pay them $123, whereas they were getting 118 this year. But either way, they've got a $200 increase.
They still, yeah, they got an
They
increase.
would have had the tax relief.
And the
either way.
freeze would knock that
The
down.
freeze would have killed that
Yeah.
increase that they're going to get from this reappraisal.
And I've heard this,
program.
Josh.
So,
I've heard a lot of people misinterpret the word freeze and they think it's elimination, and that's not happening.
no, it freezes. It does not freeze your tax rate, and that's the key. I got that call yesterday too from somebody
Right.
else in the county. It freezes the dollar amount of
Right.
taxes that the senior is paying on their property. So if they paid $1,200 in property tax this year, the freeze is implemented. There's an increase. There's a reappraisal. Whatever happens next year that it would have caused that $1,200 to go up, it cannot go up. They would pay $1,200 next year. However, if there was a reappraisal and it went down, it does allow it to drop. You're not frozen from dropping. You're frozen from going up. So
Right.
that's the freeze. The other big but that we got, and this was actually a big part of the discussion, the debate that went on during the meeting, was this is too expensive to implement. This is going to cause, and a bunch of dollar figures were thrown out. Everybody heard that because this one was in the paper, the 150,000 number. There was a 273
Yeah,
number that was
all
in a
this.
motion at one point. The 150 number was in a motion. The motion that's going to the commission ended up, and I didn't bring it with me, the exact wording, but it basically says it's going to have a high impact on the county budget. I disagree with that. That's a recommendation for the finance committee. That's unfortunately what I feel like would be an inaccurate representation from them. I can't give you an exact dollar figure. I'm not going to sit here and say I can give you an exact one, but I can tell you we met for 3 months on this. We looked at what I would consider best case scenario, but what they were looking at is the worst case scenario of if we went ahead and jumped straight to phase 2 of this program, which is a higher income level, how many seniors it would help and what it would do to the budget. At that level, which was 1,800 seniors, the recommendation was put out from the county offices involved that each office would need a full-time employee. So 2 full-time employees to help 1,800 seniors. I don't think it would take that, but that was that's their business. So I think that they would have had a strong argument at that. So what happened was we went back and looked at it and said, okay, that's a hard pill for them to swallow in year 1. I understand that 2 full-time people it's an expense. It's not a minimal expense. That's a strong, decent dollar figure. So we came back and said, let's not jump up here to phase 2. Let's go ahead and phase this in steps. So start at phase 1, which is 720 seniors instead of 1,800. And the response we got at the finance meeting, which I would encourage everybody to go back and actually watch the meeting, was it doesn't matter. Even though we're going to take less than half as many applications, we still need 2 full-time employees to operate this program.
Yeah,
I just don't find that to be a solid argument. If you do the math, 2 full-time employees would be roughly, give or take, after you take out, paid vacation, PTO, all that stuff, would be working about 1,800-ish hours a year. So you're talking 3,600 hours a year for 2 full-time employees. You got 700 applications coming in. You're talking about you're going to spend 5 hours on each application in actual work. I just don't foresee that. I can't put a number figure on how much it is going to take to work, but I don't think 5 hours is just a reasonable expectation for the amount of work that's going to be involved to process.
I'll tell you what, Josh, I think this conversation will change monthly with the implementation of AI coming into some of our government entities. And I don't know how government will be slow to adapt to it, of course, because it will eliminate jobs. Okay. But if you start putting some AI programming into our systems, man, it's mind-boggling what will happen. So I think the whole structure of our government will be changing. And this conversation, if we take a look at it honestly, a year from now, it's going to be completely different. If we adapt it.
Technology is going to be the key to obviously lightening the workload in this. It's mainly a paperwork issue as far as the workload. I don't even think you need to go all the way to AI. And I realize we'll get to AI eventually.
It's coming.
But stuff as simple as fillable PDFs where you put in somebody's information, type it in, and it goes ahead and fills in the second form while you're doing it.
That's there now.
Technology that's there now and could be used. There's a number of technology aspects. And the state offers a portal for this. This was part of the presentation we got from the comptroller. They've got a portal to help these offices on the back end to where when the application comes in and gets keyed into this portal, there's some check boxes they can check, and it generates a report that goes to the assessor's office. They review the information, send the report back. There's some back and forth happening behind the scenes technology-wise, all of which can help with the workload aspect.
Yeah.
So
and Josh, this opens up a broader conversation we're not going to get into, but this makes efficiency, if you grasp it and understand it and start, getting people that know what's going on, it could revolutionize this type of clerical activity. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, number of different technology steps. Something as simple as Chattanooga has this program. They have a lot of the forms, and they may even accept the application. I know they definitely have the forms just on their website where they can go ahead and have, and I know you're going to say, oh, a 75-year-old person, maybe they can't fill out an online form, but hey, maybe they have a child or a friend or a guy down the street that can help them do some of those early steps and take the workload off the office at the county to where when they're coming in, they're more prepared and know what they need and what to expect.
Well, I think if we utilize the technology that exists now to help existing jobs, it frees up time to have the more to help on the more laboring jobs of helping a person physically coming into the office needing help. If you streamlined some of the other stuff, but that's down the road, and that's a broad topic. I didn't mean to chase that rabbit, but that's something I think is going to change the way we do clerical work going forward. I mean, attorneys, doctors, this is a whole nother conversation, but you start implementing it into local government and state government, and you're going to see efficiency and a shrinking of the workforce there.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, where I sit, where this, we'll be discussing this at City Council as well another week or two. I'm happy, I guess is the word. I don't know. I'm glad to be on the side of the discussion of where I'm fighting to implement something that helps seniors. I'd much rather be on this side of the equation than to be on the butt side. Where I'm looking at a program that's going to help seniors and be looking for excuses not to implement the program.
So your catchphrase, you're not on the butt side.
I'm not on the butt side. I am not on the butt side.
And I just want to bring this up. We did put out a poll. It's on our Facebook, not on our Facebook. It's on our website. Yeah. And right now it stands at 96% of those people that have taken the poll. It's time to implement this. 4% are the butts.
Yeah. So, and I will just say that I was going to say without mentioning names, but I'll go ahead and mention a name. I don't think this is a big impact on the election one way or the other, but we have one of our two assessor candidates has chimed in the comments and just said that efficiency, quality assurance, and streamlined processes can definitely make a difference. There are multiple opportunities there that that was one of our two candidates for one of these offices. Drew Reed said that, and I think he's right. And I think that office in particular is about to have a big switch over one way or the other here in the beginning of September. And I think that's another reason this is a good opportunity at this point to implement. Let me get to that as far as timing. That was another but was the timing of this issue. Why this is a good time versus a bad time to be looking at this, to be implementing this. We're in a reappraisal year. So what's about to happen is all those have gone out, reappraisals have gone out. The poor assessor's office has fielded 8 million phone calls, which are ongoing. I spoke to them within this week, and they said they thought it would have slowed down, but it ain't slowing down. There is going to be a board of equalization will start meeting June 1st. They will hear everybody's concerns, issues about their appraisals and accept all the appeals and whatnot. By mid to late June, they'll be done. And everything will be locked in. And then at the end of June, the city council and the county commission will set the property tax rate. At that point, our property taxes in the county are going to be as accurate as they're going to be anytime in the next 5 years. We've just been through a reappraisal. We've been through the Board of Equalization. All that has shaken out at that point. You could say that if you're likely to have an error, this is the least likely time that there's going to be an error in anybody's tax card. So everybody's seen these numbers. If you live in a house and you got yours, as long as you open the letter, you looked at it, you reviewed it, the assessor's been reviewing everything, state's been in town, everybody's looked at this. For me, that's the optimal time to introduce this, because now when the paperwork comes through next year from somebody applying for this program and it goes to the assessor's office, they can say, hey, we feel good about these numbers because we've done all the review, they've done all the review. Everybody's sitting at a point that they're in a good place, that they know that these numbers are accurate. So this is really one of the best times in the appraisal cycle to do this. I've also heard, we heard a few people say, you rush this thing through. You know, this thing was, you're ramming it through, you're rushing. We started, before this was even presented, I started with my friend Commissioner Maddox back last year. We'd been having these conversations. You know, when should we talk about this program? This had been a discussion going on over a year, and looked at the other counties and stuff that implemented this. Looked like generally the April-May time period is when they kind of made their final decision before budget season. You come in after the budget, and the excuse is always, oh, the budget's baked in. We don't want to do something that blows up the budget. So you want to come in before, but same thing happens in state government. Once you get behind the budget, you're dead in the water. So you want to be ahead of the budget. And then, so we presented first in December. So this goes back to December. We presented to rules in December. They said, let's think about it a little more and let's come up with a plan. So we came back in January with a solid plan. We said, hey, we've looked at other counties. We've looked at what CTAS recommends. The best way to do this that we've seen done is you put a committee together of all the interested parties. This is going to have to, this is starting a rules, so it's going to have somebody from the rules committee on. We put somebody from the rules committee on the study committee. This is going to go to finance. You want somebody from finance on there. We put somebody from the finance committee on our study committee. The assessor's office and the trustee's office are going to be the ones doing the heavy lifting. They're doing the work. So we put somebody from both of those offices in there. The city may want to get on board with this. So we put people from the city in there. The county, we have people from the county. So we had all the parties that are the most directly involved in this together in one room, looked at the amount of information that was going to need to be discussed, set it. We were just picking a number, but I thought 3 meetings should be enough to get through this. I think it ended up being, I think we covered plenty in 3 meetings to gather good information. So we met for 3 times. All the information that happened in all 3 of those meetings went out to everybody that's got to make the final decision.
Right.
This is a final decision of the 18 members of the county commission, the 6 members of the city council. All those individuals got real-time updates within less than a week after each meeting happened. Right. They got a video of the meeting. They got the packet of handouts. And anything that happened at that meeting, they were up to speed with everybody else. I made one miss, and I will cop to this, and I have online. I did not take into account the fact that finance committee is kind of a hybrid committee, and it has a couple people on there that don't make the final decision. And I didn't get them the first 2 months updates in real time. They got theirs a week before the finance meeting, and that is my fault. However, the other 5 members, that's a 7-member committee, 5 of those had updates all along. One of those actually sat on the study committee. So to say that it was rushed in any way, I don't know, more than going back to December. I don't know how much more time they expected to spend on this. If they want to drag it out a year or 2 years, but we did this over a 90-day period with a lot of study, bringing in experts. We brought in the gentleman from the comptroller's office. We brought in the department heads that were involved, and we did what we could. Now, the other thing that was said, and I've got a whole page of notes here. None of these are about the tax freeze. I've been talking off the top of my head, but I did bring one note that I just want to cover here. I wasn't involved in the rules committee made the final motion that sent this on, but there was another one of the buts was, why did they send it to finance and then also to the county commission? I just wanted to read really quick the actual motion. This is the motion that was passed in January that led to this whole committee being formed. And this is what it says. It says this committee would report back to the Rules and Legislative Committee, which happened in last month, and then on to the Finance Committee, which happened this week, before going before the Bedford County Board of Commissioners. And that was the motion that was approved 5-0 back in January. That is the path it took. Now, there were some involved in finance, and even a couple of the rules members that felt like it should have just gone to finance and let them vote it up or down. That wasn't the motion that was passed in January. The motion was go to finance and then go to the board of, the final commission. And in general, I'm not a fan of, although this probably is the way the process works, of any of these committees killing ideas before they get an actual vote. I don't like that 5 commissioners, or in this case, this would be 7, but that 7 would kill something before the full 18 members get to vote and make an opinion on things. So,
well, Josh, it appears to me, and just stepping back and taking an honest assessment, this has nothing to do with costing too much. It has nothing to do with wanting to study anymore. There's one common theme here, and I think everybody can figure it out. And I'll just leave it unsaid, but it has nothing to do with the $250,000 fantasy number that they threw out there. It has nothing to do.
But
it's 275 if you have a 20% increase. All these buts, it's not about they're worried about spending that money. It's not about that at all. It's purely a political maneuver to delay and eventually talk it till it's no longer relevant. That's my opinion.
Well,
but I don't think it. But I hope that we can get a a clear vote at the commission level without it being sent somewhere else.
Yeah, that was the goal starting way back. And we've even mentioned this, I think, probably at that initial committee meeting. The goal was to get it to the commission floor
Yeah.
to let them vote on, get them enough information that they can make an informed, educated decision on whether or not this is good for seniors and also for the rest of the residents of the county. I feel like it is. That's my opinion. Not everybody shares it. And that doesn't mean I hate you because you had a different opinion, but that's where we stand, and we'll
Yeah.
have that. Hopefully that vote will happen here in a couple weeks. So, and I think we've talked that to death enough. So we're going to move
Yeah.
on to the rest of the day of Tuesday. So, before this meeting even
Excuse
happened,
me.
there was 2 meetings earlier in the day,
Mhm.
and these are actually dollar-wise a lot bigger dollar figures that we're going to talk about here.
Oh yeah.
Tuesday morning was the annual nonprofits budget hearing. There were a number of nonprofits that presented there for a little over an hour, maybe closer to an hour and a half. I don't remember either way. And they asked for a total of $74,697 in increases to their funding for the upcoming budget year. This same hearing happened about this time last year. And at that hearing, they asked for $58,307 in increased funding. And they got to the end of the budget and they didn't get any of that funding. So whether or not any of the 75-ish thousand gets funded this year, I don't know, but they have made their appeal, and that will be part of what the finance committee and the county commission will decide on the actual budget going forward. So that was the ask. But man, the nonprofits had nothing on what was asked by the departments. Let's go to 1 o'clock department budget hearings. If I don't call out a department here, it's because they didn't have a big enough increase to really. There were a lot of them that were just staying flat, and none of this involved. Well, a few of these will involve, but generally they didn't talk about salaries or pay increases. That'll be discussed later in the process. This is operational costs. Building and codes actually came in under budget. They asked for $1,000 decrease. The one of few, there was one other one we'll get to. Actually, I'll go ahead and jump to it just so we can say it. County clerk also asked for a decrease of almost $3,000 operational costs. Property assessor, they asked for a $10,000 increase for an attorney to pay for the many reappraisal appeals they expect to get after the reappraisal. They also asked for $163,692 for 2 people in a truck. So they have been operating on a single team of people that go out and do the actual physical look at your property. And they feel like they need a second team because their volume is so high, and they can't just send one person out to a property. They feel like that's a safety risk because not everybody's happy to see them. So they like to have somebody there for backup when they go onto somebody's
Well,
property.
it's a sad
So
state of affairs to have to worry about stuff like that, isn't it?
it is, but it's
That's where we
it's
are.
probably accurate. Yeah. Trustee's office asked for a $2,000 postage increase, and $2,000 in office supplies. IT, which I talked to them briefly afterwards, they had some software cost increase. They were asking to be able to start paying their people overtime because they're doing a lot of overtime now.
Yep.
$10,000 for that.
And that has been discussed.
That has been discussed in the past. And then transportation, they currently travel around their own vehicles. One of the few departments I think that does that, and they're not getting anything for that in their budget. They asked for just a minimal amount, $1,500 to help for fuel and stuff to offset the fact that they're driving around their own vehicles. So I'm going to take a drink of water. I've talked too long. Number that wasn't put out by department, but it was in there, and we look at this every year because this is kind of the direction that the salary discussion will go. There's always a document put in there. It comes from the court system. This is the official state cost of living adjustment for this year is 2.7%. So both the city and the county, I think, will mention that figure when they make their discussion on what kind of raises they give.
Okay,
employees.
so is
that's
that
the
required?
official state number.
Is that required?
That is not required for anywhere other than particular people in the court system get that automatically. I think it was
Okay.
certain judges do, but that's kind of a target number that they're going to look at for the whole operation because different years obviously cost of
So,
living adjusts
right.
different amounts.
If
So
if county can't afford it though, it's not required.
they're
by
not
state
required to
law.
do it,
Okay.
but that is what the state is saying. That is the official government estimate of what cost of living increase should be. So in the court system, not a lot of changes in operational costs, and they weren't doing salary discussions, but they did list a bunch of people that are going to get what they're calling longevity pay increases, and those vary anywhere from $300 up to $2,000 per person. And obviously that just depends on how long they've been working there, I guess. So, the two big departments as far as requests, and one of them mentioned this to me as they're walking up to the mic. They're like, everybody comes up here and said, "Oh, 1,000 this, 1,000 that. I don't need anything." And then they're like, then I have to stand up. And this was the sheriff's office, who is asking for 4 new deputies and a new detective at the cost of $299,890. Operational increases are $32,950. Jail increases $12,750, which is a grand total of $345,590 at the sheriff's office. Fire department, they didn't want to be outdone by the sheriff's office, so they've got a 1998 Class A pumper that's beyond its service life. They don't have a bid yet, but they're guessing $1.1 million to replace that truck. They would like to add 6 new firefighters, which would be $334,560, and that figure doesn't even include the cost of insurance, benefits, taxes, so it would be higher than that. If they can't get 6, they would be okay with 3. 3 would cost $167,280, also not including insurance, benefits, and all the rest. There is a possible grant out there if the county were to agree to these increases in staffing. A federal grant could cover the first year 75%, second year 75%, and the third year 35% of those salaries. However, the county would have to continue to employ them and pay the rest, and then continue to pay 100% of those going forward past year 3. So fire department also needs 2 new of the TACAN radios. Now that we're into TACAN, radios are expensive, $20,232
For 2 new radios?
for 2 radios.
$10,000 a piece.
Radios are expensive. Those
I have
Motorola
never
radios.
seen a $10,000 piece of
Electronic
radio
hardware.
equipment. Okay, I've never seen that.
That is part of Motorola having cornered the market on TACAN radios.
They're getting
So
rich.
They're doing good on TACAN.
Oh, they're
They're
absolutely
doing good. Yeah.
ripping people off.
Yeah. Fire department has $1,800 in increases in software costs, $2,500 for 2 new computers. If they hire the firefighters, in addition to taxes, insurance, and benefits, each one will need a $600 uniform. If they hire 6 firefighters, they'll need another $11,000 to train them. Or if they only hire the 3, they would need $5,500 to train them. They need a pickup truck for $70,000. They would like to start giving the volunteers a little bit of something since they're getting nothing right now. Either $600 check at the end of the year or a retirement contribution. That would cost $90,000. And they will need, or they are requesting, and the process is starting on replacing the county fire department headquarters, which is currently on Prince Street, I think. They're in the process of looking for property for that. That is an unknown amount, but as someone who's also looking at that from the city side, I'm thinking that'll be in the millions because our building's going to be in the millions.
Gosh,
So,
this is a little depressing.
well, we're not done, David.
I know.
We're not done. EMA needs $49,000, and part of that is kind of not their fault. As you, I think, probably would know, the federal government has put in some strict regulations against Chinese drones, and we got Chinese drones. So they need to replace their DJI drones at the cost of $44,000. And not in that 49,000 number is they also would like an additional employee at EMA, and they didn't put a dollar figure with that I could find. Not done. Animal control would like 1 new full-time animal control officer, $56,396. And they need to increase the hours their kennel tech is working because they're not meeting the required minimums for working with the animals at the facility. That'll be another $8,435. And then last but not least on the increases, EMS had 2 sheets, and I was a little confused, so I put both numbers on here. They both looked similar numbers, but one showed a 2.6% increase in their budget and one a 3.5%. I don't know if it was a either or proposition or if those were 2 pieces.
Yeah.
But either 2.6 or 3.5% increase for EMS. So add that all up, which I haven't, and it's a bunch of dollars. So I'm going to go ahead and say we're in an election year. Nobody's going to want to raise property taxes. So a lot of that stuff I read off is not going to get funded this year, but they're going to come back
Look out.
asking for it next year.
Another
So,
reason to get this tax freeze in place, Josh.
Yeah. That was, I can't do the math on top of my head. That's millions of dollars, obviously, between all those requests.
It looks like 4 to 5 million if you add it all
minimum.
up.
Without even talking about buildings. Yeah, there was some
Oh,
building stuff in there that'll be, a lot. So,
Josh, it's one of these things that people look at if they're sitting at home. They look at their personal budgets and they look at their personal income, and they have to make choices. At what point do our government start making choices? I think we have been, but my question to you is, do you think that the general public would say, well, let's cut a few services, let's let the government let's give them off of a few things that they've been doing for us to cut back? I think the public is always going to expect the government to do all this stuff.
they're going to expect when they call the sheriff's department that a deputy shows up eventually. They're going to expect when they call 911 that a fire truck comes rolling up. And they're going to expect when they call 911 that a ambulance rolls in. So, yeah, it's just a matter of the longer each of these line items gets pushed to next year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, the slower it's going to take for that fire truck to show up at your house, the longer it's going to take for that sheriff's deputy to show up when you call, the longer it's going to take for the ambulance to show up when you call. So that's where.
And then you look on the other side of it, the people that get these tax appraisals 50, 60, 70% higher, they expect to see a freeze maybe for a year, and then here it comes the next year.
Yeah.
How do people handle being taxed out of their homes down the road to pay for this basic stuff? It's going to be a tough needle to thread.
It is, yeah. So we won't. I don't know that we even have a date yet when we'll get one. We will get a budget book, I would expect sometime in the month of May that we have currently entered, I think. So we'll see what the first round looks like and how many of these things actually make it in the budget book. I will say, because we're in a reappraisal year, there's a little pesky thing that they like to talk about the assessor's office a lot called the ratio.
Yeah.
And what that is that's an adjustment that's done to the personal property tax to lower it during non-appraisal years. Now that we're in an appraisal year, the ratio will be 1.0, which means anybody that gets taxed on personal property, as you do for that computer that's sitting right there, and the table that we're sitting in front of, which is
that microphone.
That microphone
right
gets
there.
taxes paid on it every year.
Don't think I'm gonna
I
hide
don't
this.
think your coffee does.
I'm hiding this. From
Coffee
Drew.
doesn't
Hey,
count.
Drew, I don't have coffee cup.
He's got no coffee.
Don't count it.
Don't count a coffee cup. But anything in a business is taxed every year.
What about Elvis?
Elvis, he's probably got a value. He's not a lot, but he's getting taxed. But either way, all of those businesses will paying 100% of whatever their assessed value is this year, which will increase somewhat. And I don't know that dollar figure yet. We'll find that out when we get the budget book. But that will increase somewhat the pot of money that the county will have this year in the property tax area, because the personal property tax falls into that. So they will have a little more money. I'm going to say it's not going to add up to what. That big long list that I
Josh,
just read.
something that a lot of people have not considered, and I heard Bill Anderson say this, and a couple others, that wait till your insurance premiums come up when these property values start. If you're trying to get replacement costs on your home, and you're gone up,
and your value's
gone up, just wait till you see those premiums. So it's escalating to the point that if you're a property owner, you're getting hammered.
Yes. I don't know what more to say.
I know.
Yes. One more meeting that day. I know that was enough. Actually, there was two more. One I missed. But county planning met Tuesday evening at 7:00. And the big thing on the agenda, and I didn't get to see this yet because it was only given to the Planning Commission, but there currently exists a draft copy of the Bedford County Comprehensive Plan. This is the plan for the way the county will develop into the future. There was some discussion back and forth with the committee chairman and the planning director on whether or not this document should be posted on the website. I didn't get that they came to a consensus. I'm feeling like it's not going to be yet.
Why wouldn't you? Is it premature?
I feel like the planning director thought it was premature to post on the website, whereas it sounded like the committee chairman's like, let's go ahead and start getting public comment now. So I don't feel like they came to a real decision yet. my personal opinion, I'd go ahead and throw it out
Oh,
there.
public
and
comment is
start
very
getting
important.
comment.
If
Now
you
that-
really want to,
Yeah. The idea is, though, that the Planning Commission, which is the only one that has this right now, is going to review this for several months and give their comments. There will, at some point, have to be, and there has to be by law, a public comment period where this does get put out to the public and everybody will get
Yeah.
to see it and review it. And then eventually their hope is to take it to the county commission. They don't have to approve it necessarily for it to go into effect,
yeah,
but they would like to get them to weigh in on it as well. So this has been a 5-year process already just to get the first draft in front of the Planning Commission. I wouldn't even want to predict how long it's going to take to get to a final document, but this is something that's
Yeah.
going to be ongoing over the next number of months. So, and then there was one, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but there was one public comment at the Planning Commission meeting. Somebody stood up and spoke on the ongoing farm pond issue in Wartrace, and I believe the second concern was
Yeah.
somewhere in the Fairfield Pike area. Go back and watch the Planning Commission meeting. If you watch about the last 5 minutes of the video, maybe you can see there was, and I don't know how well Mike's picked this up, there was a lot of issues with mic buttons and stuff.
yeah.
But there was a good discussion back and forth between somebody in the public and the planning director on what is and is not allowed as far as mining and rock and Right to
Oh,
Farm
yeah.
Act. And this has been a whole ongoing
Yeah.
discussion that our opinion has been, I think, pretty much all along that this is going to need to be decided in the courts.
And you know
I
what?
still
I don't
that's
think
where
we're the
at.
only county that's dealing with this.
We are
I was,
not the
I
only
was
county.
talking to somebody yesterday from Marshall County. Same situation going on there.
Coffee, I believe.
Yeah,
County.
Coffee County. And even though in Maury County, just about everybody, we're sitting. One of our greatest resources is limestone.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
We got a lot of limestone.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a topic going forward for a while, I'd say.
It is, yeah. I think this is going to be ongoing. So, but if you're curious about the discussion, that is at the end of that video. So, with that, that was everything that I just talked about happened on Tuesday, and that's probably enough for today. So, could we hear from our sponsors?
Oh,
one more
absolutely.
time?
We will. We appreciate our sponsors, Dennis Young Insurance and Cutting Edge Optical.
For clear vision and trusted care, choose Cutting Edge Optical. We offer comprehensive eye exams powered by 2020 exams, expert contact lens fittings, and a wide selection of quality frames to match your style and budget. Need glasses fast? We even offer same-day eyeglasses to keep you seeing clearly without the wait. Our experienced team is committed to personalized service and helping you see your best every day. Visit Cutting Edge Optical at 1114 North Main Street in Shelbyville or call 931-488-5778 to schedule your appointment today.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
When you're ready to buy or sell in Middle Tennessee, you want someone who knows this community inside and out. Meet Diane and Madison Arnold, Shelbyville's trusted real estate team with decades of local experience and award-winning results. Whether it's finding your dream home, pricing your property to sell, or navigating every step of the transaction with confidence, they're with you from start to finish. As part of Coldwell Banker Southern Realty, they pair hometown expertise with powerful market tools to help you move with confidence. Call Diane and Madison today and experience the personal service and local knowledge that makes all the difference.
All righty. Welcome back into the weekend wrap up, the news that matters. Upcoming week, Josh, are you going to be busy?
Not as busy as this week because Tuesday is not going to drag on for 85 hours like it did this week. So no, it's not as bad. Today, we mentioned it at the top of the show, but 5 o'clock starting on the square will be a big concert. This is in support of our veterans organizations.
Yeah.
There will be Hunter Girl plus 6 songwriters. They have been working since yesterday with some of our local veterans. There will be some brand new songs performed that were written with our veterans. I think Pope's, I saw, even had a special menu.
All right.
And go while you're there, go visit my friend on the other side of the square. What is it? The Gunter building there, the white building?
Yeah.
Down on the ground floor, Twin Treats. She was there and had cooked extra, I know, last weekend when the car thing was there. And she's like, nobody walked in. Everybody was looking at the cars. So go over and help her out. Go over and buy some treats from her if you're there for the concert tonight. Tuesday is a big day in Bedford County. It is the primary election day, 9 a.m., I believe, to 7 p.m. We have posted your precinct location. We had a whopping 7% of the registered voters turned out to vote for early voting, which is honestly sad and pathetic.
Are
not
you
gonna
sad?
lie. I'm not gonna
It's
lie.
about like last
It's-
election cycle, the same time,
Yeah.
same type election 2022.
Yeah,
Same
'cause-
numbers, basically.
Yeah, because the other 93% are still going to complain on Facebook. So if you're going to go on and complain, why don't you just go vote?
Yeah.
So please go out and vote. On Tuesday, 9 to 7, go on our Facebook, go on the county web. There's plenty of places you can go and find out where you have to go and show up to vote. They're open till 7, so you can go after work if you need to. Most employers are going to let you take
Yes,
off work to vote on election
Absolutely.
day.
And
So
Josh, how many registered voters? Over 30,000, is it?
it was like 30. I got that exact number because we used it
Yeah.
for our posts every day. It was like 31,030.
31,000. We're over 31 now.
over 31.
All these people that are registering from in the last 3 years, because it
Yeah.
was 29. And
Right.
What's
Yeah.
happening with those? Are they just registered and then not voting?
Apparently, because only 7% showed up. So I don't know. They got there are three competitive races on there.
Yes.
Even if you're in a commission district that doesn't have a competitive commission race, you still have the opportunity to choose one of the candidates that'll be on the final ballot for
Right.
county mayor.
Right.
And you are in all likelihood, and not to downplay the other gentleman that's running as an independent, but you are in all likelihood picking who the property assessor is going
Exactly.
to be for Bedford County for the next 4 years.
Replacing a property assessor that's
That's
been
been
there
there
20 some odd
30,
30
30
years.
some years.
Yeah.
So that's important. And if you don't think it's important, look at that piece
Yes,
of paper you got in the mail with
exactly.
your assessment just a couple weeks ago, and think to yourself, man, I sure would like to have somebody competent in that role. So
Yeah.
go and vote for that race. If you don't go for any other reason, just walk in and vote for property assessor, because that's going to affect you for the next 4 years if you own property.
And Scott Vickery made a comment
Yeah. What's he say?
about our voting turnout. Sad and pathetic. That's being kind.
Okay. Well,
That's true.
I know.
I
don't know.
concur.
Yeah. So please
Oh.
go out and vote if you can. So, and then same day, Tuesday evening, 6 o'clock, down the hill from the election commission. Although don't
Don't skip elections.
don't go to the election commission to vote. You don't go there
No,
on election day. You've
no.
got to go to your precinct.
Your precinct.
All the early voting was in that white courthouse annex, but on election
And
day you cannot go in there and
Some
vote.
of these
So,
districts have 2 precincts. Two.
some of them have two.
5
That's
has
why
2.
You need to figure it out.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'm in 5 and I go to Flat
Yeah.
Creek.
Yeah. So make sure you know where you're going. All that information is available online. Go out and vote. And then Tuesday evening, down the hill from the election commission, we have the city council study session. We have got a jam-packed agenda with a bunch of stuff on it. I will give one sneak preview out of the many items, which is there was a lot of discussion in the last week I saw in a particular thread online about the city park and sports complex over at HV Griffin. We got bids in for the soccer park part of the expansion over there, which we know is being paid for by a state grant. And we were fortunate. I was going to say ecstatic, but I'll go a little lower. I'm going to go with fortunate to get in what appears to be a very good bid on that was well below
Very
what we
good.
were expecting. Came from a company that, from all indication, we'll get this final report study session, seemed to be somebody that's in the business of building sports fields and was able to do it for a lot less
Yeah.
money than we expected, which is going to allow us to go ahead and jump ahead to a next phase in that project and not just do the fields, but hopefully, fingers crossed, do the concession stands and bathrooms all at the same time. I was told, and I probably shouldn't say this publicly, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Oh, you're going to do it anyway.
I'm going to do it anyway. Say, you know, why not? We're at the end of the show.
You
You know,
splurge. Go
I'll
ahead.
ask for forgiveness
Yeah, all
later.
right.
I was told that if all comes together and works right, and we're talking sod and a couple other things, you could be playing on those soccer fields as early as this fall. So that's
fast.
That's the rumor now, and I'm not guaranteeing that, but I'm saying that is a possibility.
You did not
based
hear that
on-
here.
You didn't hear that here, but I did hear that
Yeah.
from someone that,
All right.
that has knowledge.
Okay.
There's a possibility that everything could be in place, that there may be some games held there as early as
So
this
for those
fall.
people
So
that have kids playing soccer, that's good news for you.
that would be good news for them. So, and we know this is government. There could be delays and
Of
stuff
course,
like that.
of
And that's why I probably shouldn't have said it.
It
but
probably 3 years from now. Josh.
I hope it's not 3 years, but there is a slim possibility that they could be playing there as early
Very
as this
good.
fall. So
All right.
that would be great. So, and just I didn't put this on this rundown because I ran out of paper. Next Saturday, if you live in Bedford County and have ever said there is nothing to do in Bedford
Oh,
County,
gosh.
next Saturday is your Saturday. This happened last year. It's happening this year. Next Saturday, and I hope I don't forget an event. I'm going to give you the main ones, though. You got the monthly VFW breakfast that I love every month. You got the 5K happening on the square. You got the big car show at the Celebration Grounds.
Yeah.
You got the Strawberry Festival up in War Trace.
Yeah.
And then you got the big fish fry for the pregnancy, and I should know the name of the place.
Yeah,
the pregnancy resource place. Yeah. So
First choice.
first choice. So at least, and I don't think those are all the events. I think
No,
there's
there's
some I've
more than
left off
that.
that list, but there are.
Now,
Yeah, off the top of my head, there's 5. There's probably 8 or 10.
the Strawberry Festival last year, the Cloggers.
They had the cloggers. They had the
And
cloggers.
The Clogger video got more views than anything we put out last year.
I think we
think.
got 100,000 views
it's
on cloggers.
insane.
So
The
yeah,
Cloggers.
yeah,
All
the
right.
cloggers. So there is so much going on next Saturday that if you don't get out and do something, unless the weather's bad, there is no excuse not to get out and do something next Saturday.
So no complaining about not having anything to
don't
do.
complain, man. I'm bored sitting around with
Yeah.
nothing to do next Saturday
Yeah.
because you couldn't even do it all if you wanted to. There's so
Yeah.
much going on. So,
For sure.
Yeah, and tonight, go to the square, watch the concert. They say bring a lawn chair so you're comfortable, but it's going to be great. Supports our veterans, and I think it's going to be a good event. And weather's perfect for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
weather's
going to be a
gonna
little
be good.
cool, though. It's cooling
That's
down.
fine. Rather not be hot. You want to be out there
No,
sweating watching the
absolutely. It's
show?
going to
So
be in the
it's
50s
going to be comfy.
and
Bring a
30,
little-
37 degrees in the morning. So if you planted your tomato plants, you need to cover them. tonight.
Okay.
All right.
I'll cover my
I got to cover
tomatoes.
my tomato plants.
Cover your
All right.
tomatoes. So, all
All
right.
right. That's it, isn't it, Josh?
I hope so.
Thanks for hanging in there with us.
It's almost
been
11 o'clock.
We've almost gone an hour.
Yeah.
Boy, time flies when you're having fun, Josh.
It does. We
All
had
right.
fun. So,
All right. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back same time, same place. Oh, and we will not be doing an election coverage this Tuesday, but we will be doing the general. But I'm sure we'll have.
But we will, depending on the
Yeah.
study session, let me caveat that, depending on as long as our study session doesn't go for 2 hours,
yeah,
my goal is as soon as it's over, we start at 6. I'm hoping we're done by 7:30ish. I will run up the hill. Actually, I'll
Yeah.
drive up the hill.
drive up the hill.
Go to the election commission, and we will have Facebook posts, no live video,
Right.
no live audio, just probably do one post and continually update it with the numbers
Right.
as they happen.
And we will cover that next Saturday.
And we'll cover that next Saturday. It will be on the radio. I will tell you, if I get there in time, you're going to get the numbers from us before the radio gets them out,
Guarantee
'cause
it.
Mine will be real time. So.
That's right.
But
All right.
God, I'm not saying don't listen to radio. I'll probably listen to radio myself to hear what they have to say. But I think they're going to be on as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All righty.
Come
Thanks
back next
everybody
week.
for watching. We'll see you again next Saturday.